What's up, everybody? Welcome to Riot TV on the Labrynth Games YouTube channel. Today is the final day of the 5-day character breakdown barrage. I'd like to thank everybody for all the positive feedback I've gotten on Facebook and the YouTube channel as we continue to grow this and do more with Riot Quest. So, without further ado, we've got two more characters on deck. We have J.A.I.M.S, and we save the best for last, Gubbin. Let's get to it. So the first character we're going to talk about is J.A.I.M.S. I know at the beginning of the week we talked a little bit about Dreyfus and why I like him as a guard. J.A.I.M.S is definitely a whole different character. J.A.I.M.S has speed of 4, defense 4-8, stamina 3, bodyguard. When a hero in your crew adjacent to this hero is targeted by an attack, before resolving that attack, this hero can be targeted by the attack instead, regardless of the attacker's range. Safeguard. Other heroes in your crew adjacent to this hero gain cover. Spring Blades. If this hero is hit by a melee attack after the attack is resolved, the attacking model suffers 1 damage. Ripping Claws. Melee 1 range, 3 attack blue dice. So yeah. Talking about J.A.I.M.S, how I said is very specific. Now J.A.I.M.S on the card is amazing, good, great all around. Speed 4, middle ground. But early on in the game, defense 4-8, right? You never plan to go in and get the 2 wounds on him. You gotta do it the old hard way, 1-1-1 to get the kill, unless you get really lucky, or you're hitting with someone super hard. The bodyguard is amazing. You sit next to somebody, J.A.I.M.S takes the hit and has a chance of using the spring blades to throw that wound back at him. But where J.A.I.M.S has that very linear move, and with only having 3 blue dice on a melee attack, we have telescoping blades. This model gains +1 power die and +2 range on its melee attacks. So that's +1 power dice. That is amazing. That's, again, you're pumping up your class, you give them a boost. It's a red dice. It only costs 3 loot. That's on the cheaper end. If you've got a tinker nearby, that's only 1 loot. That's amazing. And it gives +2 range on its melee attacks. You throw this on someone like Captain Crotty, suddenly you've got like, what, 5 range with a melee attack? Or even you can save yourself a dice action by putting this on somebody and not having to move to attack them and just hit them with that melee ranged. Again, I love this card. It's in almost every loadout you ever play, ever. It's universally good. So, we saved the best for last. The rogue, Monsieur Gubbin. Gubbin has a speed of 5, defense of 5-6, and a stamina of only 2. Sidestep. If this model is missed by an attack, it can move up to 3 spaces immediately after resolving the attack. Sneak. This model can move through spaces occupied by enemies. Too many explosives. Range attack 3, 4 blue dice. Explosion. When this model uses a ranged attack to target an enemy, all models adjacent to the target, including your crew, are targeted as well. Regardless of this weapon's range, only make 1 die roll and compare the results to each target. I have loved Gubbin since day 1. He is my boy. Almost every list I've ever played in our leagues, the tournaments that we've had, I just love playing Gubbin. He definitely has a large risk reward on him. If you notice, he's one of the few characters that only have 2 health. That means he can be crit off the board, and you get to give your opponent a free victory point for minimal work, right? On Gubbin, 5-6 defense puts him up there. I mean, I've won games that were blowouts because they keep trying to attack Gubbin, and maybe luck wasn't on their side. Maybe sometimes they make ill attacks on him, knowing that like you're hardly going to hit 5 or 6 regardless. But when you waste attacks on Gubbin and you don't do damage, or you don't get that amazing shot where you throw like 3 crits on your dice and he dies really easy, Gubbin can run away with the game by himself. Then on top of it, it's kind of like he taunts your opponent. Every time someone attacks and misses them, they like get more aggressive towards killing him. I'm like, you've already missed twice. Why are you going 3 times? Learn your lesson. But again, you also have to gauge when to bring Gubbin in. I usually don't bring him in early and see what kind of characters are on the board. I kind of like to soften it up a bit, knock out those hard-hitting characters before Gubbin comes in. Or if your opponent becomes lackadaisical and he comes in and he groups up, run in there and throw TNT. And always remember, you can do the Gubbin sacrifice, where if he's low himself, or you have characters with 1 health on him and you just want to get him off the board to save yourself some victory points, chuck that TNT in there and knock out everybody, even your own characters. Save yourself, some easy points that your opponent would have gotten. So, like I said, up to date, Gubbin is one of my favorite characters. regardless of him having 2 health. I think he's a great tier 1, tier 2 slot rogue. A lot of people say that the rogue classes each do something a little bit different, so I would say this guy just does what you want him to do. And he's got the sneak, which has also saved me a bunch of times, getting out of tight areas, especially on the ship now, where you got clogged up areas, to get Gubbin out of there and then throw that TNT. So, but that's J.A.I.M.S and Gubbin. So, what are your guys' thoughts on J.A.I.M.S? Do you think too linear, like I think? Where, I mean, obviously each character should be good against something. And then with Gubbin, is he some of your top characters? I know a lot of people, it's a love-hate relationship. You hate him to death and you'll never play him, or you never like him, or you never seen against him. Or you love him and he's your boy, and you go to war for this guy. I would fight to the death for Gubbin. So, let me know what your thoughts are. Now, before I let you guys go, I'm going to do a little bit of an update from the end of this week. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for the positive feedback I've gotten. It has been amazing. It's been a learning process shooting these and editing them. I'm only getting better with each video, which is great. And I've had a couple of questions sent to me, asking me about like some of the characters I've talked about and like what's some good gear with them, and some other questions that go more in depth. Now, with my breakdowns, it's kind of like box opening, where I just kind of look at the stats and just briefly talk about them and move on. Down the road, I'd like to do spotlights on characters, where we will give 5 to 10, 50 minutes, the respect and time each character needs, to look at the gear loadout that would be good with them, whether they're good in 6-man team or 10-man teams, if they're better, you think they'd be better in multiplayer, or strategies of playing with them or against them. We'll save them for a longer episode, break down each character specifically. So, but there's so many characters right now and so much time to catch up with, and they're coming out with new ones, you know, every month. I just kind of want to just touch base with a bunch of them for now. And then in the making down the road, we have a bunch of different episodes that we're not just going to talk about characters. We'll talk about alternate gameplays. We'll talk about gear ratings, how I like to put them on there for like top tier gear and lower tier gear. And pretty much anything you guys want. If you have any ideas that you want me to talk about, I'd like to even just do a painting episode where we just throw people's painted figures up for 10 minutes and take a look at some cool figures. So you guys probably think you know what I'm going to say, right? Probably wash your hands, don't touch your face, and game on. Well, you're actually pretty right. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, game on.